Diablo Immortal is a freaking disgrace. It's something that's going to be a permanent blemish on top of Blizzard. I mean, straight up, I cannot even imagine this game being fun or enjoyable or even a good story because it's just so filled with the scammiest microtransactions I've ever seen in my entire life. But thankfully, I've been doing some research. It seems like Diablo Immortal has actually become a giant flop. It is costing Blizzard more money than they're making. And I'm happy about this failure, but let's dig into the details. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here. So hi, how's it going? I'm a Diablo mega fan. I read the books, I beat the games, I exist inside this universe as much as possible, but I think we need to face facts that Diablo Immortal is something that exists very separately. A lot of these game developers lately, they feel like they're trying to make these individual divisions, keep your main games, make these spin-off games that just milk the online audience of mobile users as much as possible. Well, I started to just sort of dig around to see if the Diablo Immortal experiment has been a W or an L. And it seems like because of fan protest, because of the backlash, we have effectively killed this game before it really had a chance to take off. Now, let's begin by taking a look at this. So this is an article over on the Video Game Chronicle, and it says, a Diablo Immortal player has spent $15,000 to get a rare gem, and then he destroys it in protest. So this guy right here is actually one of the biggest Diablo streamers on the planet. His name is Quin69. Secretly, I've killed Quin a lot in video games. He's kind of a goofball. Well, he just decided that every time it popped up, should you buy a microtransaction, he would do it. He would buy it just to see how long it would take to get the best gear in the game. In Diablo Immortal, you get random pieces of armor and weapons, but what really just juices them up is these randomized gems. Well, he did it. Let me mute this, but this is the clip. He actually got the best freaking gear, the best gems, the best everything in the entire game, and it cost him $15,000 for one of the best gems. You need 5 of them. So theoretically, he would have had to spend $60,000 to get the best gear in the game. And so, as an act of protest, he decided to delete it. He deleted everything, including his character, all in an act of protest. I massively salute this. Now, in case you don't understand how this is just such a scam, if this doesn't really make sense, somebody decided to make an algorithmic generator that shows it. Essentially, whenever you're trying to get the best gear in the game, you spend $25 and it goes, all right, let's just play the slot machine, yay! And you get some random stuff. None of these are actually good, so let's keep playing. So this is the problem, is that right now, a majority of Diablo Immortal isn't dungeon crawling, it's not adventuring, it's not doing co-op with your friends, it's this scammy garbage, and people realize it. This has now become the most disliked game ever on Metacritic. It's getting severely review bombed. Interestingly enough, it seems like because of the backlash, right now it just got delayed in China. Like it was supposed to come out in a couple hours, and yet they just randomly said, actually, we're not going to be releasing it. Also, there's like a Chinese Twitter account called Weibo. That's just been banned. It seems like Blizzard may be actually getting hit with scam laws overseas, which is fascinating, but I'm also curious about the profit side of this. So everybody talks about the fact that it is making money. Currently, as it stands, Diablo Immortal has managed to make $24 million in its first week. That's not the biggest number in the world in the grand context of billion-dollar corporations, but $24 million, it's not exactly pennies in the pond. Well, Skill Up here, the very amazing YouTuber, puts this into brilliant context. Diablo 3 made $210 million in its first 24 hours. So basically, Blizzard worked 5 years to make Diablo Immortal, and it's making roughly 10% as much money as their game they released 10 years ago, plus they snagged the record for the lowest score ever on Metacritic. Good job, Blizz. You definitely nailed it. Now, what's interesting about this is that keep in mind inflation. Actually extrapolating this up, it's probably $250,000 or maybe even $300 million that they made off Diablo 3 in current context. But more than that, you have to realize this is something that was intended to make money long term. Everybody is quitting Diablo Immortal already. I want to just say something right here, which is that I do see these weird people online who are sort of trying to defend Diablo Immortal and say something like, oh, it's supposed to suck at the start. Apparently, this is a real thing I've seen in my comment section, which just absolutely melts my eyeballs. But some people have said Diablo or any mobile games start off very, very predatory to make you not spend money, so that later on when they lower the difficulty, when they make the game easier, when they make the microtransactions more favorable, then people buy in. It's a weird way of like almost punishing the early adopters. People who type stuff that is that insane just make me want to, just rip my eyebrows off or something. You should constantly be pushing back against bad microtransactions. Even if you love the company, even if you love the game series, it is important for fans directly to declare when things are not fair. I mean, straight up, I saw Jez Corden tweeted out yesterday, this was a big viral tweet where he straight up said that anybody even involved with the predatory microtransactions of Diablo Immortal should be ashamed. And he straight up said if this gets him blacklisted by Blizzard, he doesn't even care. This is the balls that are necessary. What sort of inspired this video is this weekend, I randomly decided to do a platinum trophy run of Resident Evil 2, and trust me, I'm getting to a point with this analogy. While going through that game, there was just such a raw passion to every single part of it. Every zombie placement, every corner, every line of voice acting, everything in it became this big amalgamation, this big pile of love that equals a product that is better than its parts. Whereas Diablo Immortal, it sort of made me reflect on how Diablo Immortal is the exact opposite. Every line of dialogue just feels forced. Every piece of art, even if it's good, you can tell it exists to get you closer to the microtransactions. The unfair slot machines purely were built as a way to sort of push back against the people that love Diablo the most. I am annoyed because honestly, this just feels like Activision Blizzard wants you to not like them. It feels like some grand plan to screw over people who want to support them. Now, what's funny is that this seems to very monetarily be blowing up in their faces. Not only are they very clearly losing money on the back end, but people seem to be fleeing them. So right here, June 1st is when the game actually came out. This is the Activision Blizzard stock prices. Now, obviously, most normies probably don't know about this, so who knows what's causing this. But it is funny to me that once the game came out, the stock's been pretty much in free fall. It feels like everybody is just frustrated with Activision Blizzard because even when they do something right, they do 15 things that are very wrong, like them trying to do an investigation of their own crimes. Right now, Activision is being legally investigated for some wrongful deaths that may have taken place, which is still just absolutely bonkers to consider. And they're promising us that, you know what, we looked into it, everything's fine, you don't have to investigate us. Activision Blizzard is very quickly becoming the scummiest, worst company on the planet. Now, I am still hopeful that at some point, this is just a blind hope currently, I'll fully admit it, but right now, whenever we actually see Microsoft step in and take over, I hope all these people are fired. I hope all this stuff is just cleaned out. If Activision Blizzard made good games, I'd be hyped. But as it stands, I don't care about the future of World of Warcraft. I don't care about Overwatch. Call of Duty looks decent, but even that, it's hard to be super hyped about. Like right now, like every part of Activision Blizzard seems like a scam. But what do you think about this? Are you excited for what's about to come next with Activision Blizzard? Does it feel like Xbox can save them? Or is this just a big ongoing mess that will never, ever end? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big old thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But also, please, don't do these games. Don't. Oh, God. Oh, my God. I'm still in shock. Even after playing this game, I'm a sucker. I shouldn't even have played it. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.